It's time again for the Science Bowl.
Zoo parade for 5. What big teeth the hippo has are actually a pair of these. Science potpourri for 10. Would a snake most likely eat every day? Every week, Dateline Science for 10. Why are some elephants wearing necklaces these days? Green things for 15.
And now, here's your host, Mr. Z himself, Dave Zarin.
Thank you and welcome to the Science Bowl. 2 outstanding elementary schools here today to play our game, one of whom could become the first of our Final Four in this year's elementary competition. Let's meet today's teams. First, from Forest Heights Elementary School, would you please say hello to Jemiah Barrett, Jabari Champion, and Tamaya Bell. And from Perrywood Elementary School, here they are, Kindness Harbor, Joshua Odesanya, and Oluwakemi Abiodun. And here are the categories of questions we use on the Science Bowl.
Okay, Mr. Z, here's today's categories. Green things, questions about plants and all things green and growing. Zoo parade, a Noah's Ark of questions about animals. Body systems, we'll see how much you know about yourself, about things like breathing and growing and digesting your food. Let's get physical. Questions that test your knowledge of physics and chemistry, earth science and space science. Then there's Science Potpourri. Here's a grab bag of science questions, everything from air pollution to the kitchen sink. And finally, Dateline Science. We'll ask you about science history and science in the news.
Here on the Science Bowl, we arrange our game board according to question difficulty. With the easier questions on the left, they're worth 5 and 10 points. The tougher ones worth 15, 20, and ultimately 25, the toughest of them all. Both of our teams start out at 50 points apiece. No penalties ever for incorrect answers. End of the 2 rounds today, one of these 2 good-looking, talented teams will come back to play Robert Goddard Montessori and perhaps become the first of our Final Four. We started with 40 elementary schools, and we're down almost to the Final Four in this our 30th year. Let's go over and make sure everything works properly. Let's go to the red team. Jabari, would you try your buzzer? Thank you, young man. Good luck to you, to Jemiah and to Tamaya. And would we try the green team's buzzer? Joshua? Yes, sir. Congratulations and good luck to you and to your teammates. All right, everybody ready to do this? Let's have a great game. May the better team win. We go alphabetically, F before P. So Forest Heights and Jabari, let's play the bowl.
Green things for 10.
Green things for 10 points. Teams, there are palm trees that produce dates, palm trees that produce coconuts, and then there are palm trees that produce this liquid that we normally associate with petrochemicals that are drilled out of the ground. Forest Heights.
Water?
Not water, no. Perrywood, what do you think?
Oil.
Oil, yes, palm oil. Big plantations of palm oil trees that are taking over many parts of the world. A very important cooking oil in many parts of the world. Green.
Okay. Dateline for 10.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Dateline Science for 10.
Dateline Science for 10 points. That's all right. You're just getting used to this. I like your enthusiasm. Here's the question. For 10 points, since 1880, weather records have been kept. In all those years, the hottest year ever was what year? Jabari.
June.
What year?
Oh, 2012.
Not 2012. The hottest year ever since weather records were started back in 1880. Joshua.
What do you think? 2015.
What you got?
2015.
That's correct. The year that we just came out of, the hottest year ever recorded around the world. Good comeback. Go green again, Perrywood.
Let's get physical for 15.
Let's get physical for 15 points. Teams, the ecliptic is the name of the path, the imaginary path, that the sun takes through the heavens following these 12 constellations that are named for what they look like. What are those 12 parts of the ecliptic known as popularly? Yes, Jabari.
Zodiac signs.
Say it.
Zodiac signs.
Not quite. Help him out. What is he trying to say?
Zodiac.
Zodiac. That's what I wanted to hear. Good. I knew that's where you're headed. Go. Red. Good answer.
Zoo parade for 10.
Zoo Parade for 10 points. Teams, what same word means the most prominent feature on cars in the 1950s and these fish parts that can be dorsal, ventral, or pectoral? Perrywood.
Fins.
Fins, yeah. Back in the 1950s, cars had big fins, and fish, of course, have fins too. Good. Listen carefully to what I say, just like you did. Green, go.
Body systems for 5 points.
Body systems for 5 points. Teams, some of you may remember little Jack Horner who sat in the corner eating his Christmas pie, and then he stuck what digit in the pie and pulled out a plum and said, "What a good boy am I." What digit did he stick in the pie? Joshua.
5. Wait.
No, I need a specific digit that he stuck in the pie. Little Jack Horner sat in the corner eating his Christmas pie. He then stuck in his what and pulled out a plum and said, "What a good boy am I."
31.
Thumb. He stuck in his thumb. Digits are fingers and toes. He stuck in his thumb and pulled out the plum. We wondered if you knew nursery rhymes. I think we got our answer there. Okay. Green, 80 points. Forsyth, 65. Joshua, you still have the advantage.
Okay. Zoo Parade for 5. Yeah.
Go.
Zoo Parade for 5.
Zoo Parade for 5 points. Teams, we are taping this show on February 2nd. And up in Punxsutawney, Pennsylvania, this rodent is shaken loose from his slumber and asked meteorologically if the winter is about over. Name that rodent. It is the groundhog. Yes, it is Groundhog Day. Thank you, Perrywood. I was getting worried there that maybe the groundhog was needed a new PR agent. You guys didn't jump on that one. All right, it is Groundhog Day. All right, Josh, go. Yes, sir.
Let's get physical for 10.
Get physical for 10 points. Teams, if you play indoor soccer, you probably have suffered turf burns because of this force. Forest Heights.
Carbon.
No, I need a force. Perrywood, what force causes turf burns if you're playing indoor soccer?
Friction.
That's it. Yeah, you got the friction of the knee hitting that turf, and you get those brush burns on there. And Jabbar, yeah, consult with your two teammates here before you give an answer here and help him out. He can't do this on his own. Go, Josh.
25. Science potpourri for 25.
Whoa, science potpourri for 25. The big one in that category, teams. The Food and Drug Administration has recently proposed that anybody under the age of 18 should never use a tanning bed because of the risk of developing this M-initialed most severe form of skin cancer. What is that for 25 points? That's melanoma. Try again, green. Oh, the buzzer says we're not going to ask any more questions quite yet. We're going to take a break, and we'll come back and talk to our students about themselves and their schools and get to the second round. We'll be right back. Don't go away.
Simple moments are what make every day count.
And welcome back to Science Bowl. So nice to have you here today. We've got 6 outstanding young people here, 3 from Forest Heights, a team that has been here already twice, and they've done better this year than they have ever done. It's a great team, and we're welcoming Perrywood. They got a bye in the first round because they did so well last year. Perennial competitors. Let's talk to them about their schools and themselves. Forest Heights, nice to have you here. Jabari, tell us about Forest Heights. Dr. Brookover is here. He is your wonderful principal. He is so behind this team. And Mrs. Stephanie Hinton-Jackson is here as well, your wonderful sponsor. And did you have any alternates on your team, Jabari?
Yes.
Who are they? Give me their first names.
Levante and Xavier.
That's wonderful. We'll bring them out along with your principal and your coach in just a few moments here. I always like to ask schools, and I know I asked you once before, of all the great things at Forest Heights, what's the best thing? What do you like to brag about to your friends?
The way our teachers teach our lessons, they make it engaging and fun.
That's a great word, engaging. Yeah, because if you're not engaged, if you haven't bought into that lesson, it doesn't matter what they're talking about. I thank you. That was a very nice thing to say. Tell me about yourself. What do you want to do someday?
I want to be a veterinarian and have my own business.
Yeah, and I know you've got your whole life planned out. You're going to get a bachelor's degree in business management, then a master's in zoology, then you want to get a doctorate. And this young man was also part of the campaign recently for a Baltimore mayoral candidate, and who actually gave some advice on the Baltimore City schools about some of the neat things that they need to do. So you're a well-connected and civic-minded young man. Good to have you here. And Tamaya, nice to have you back with us here. Tell us about yourself. What do you want to do someday?
I want to be a chemical engineer.
Yeah, and how did you get interested in that?
I like to work with chemistry and stuff, and I like nature.
That's wonderful. What do you do in your spare time?
I draw and read.
Draw and read. What kind of books do you like?
I mostly like science textbooks.
Wonderful. Wow, boy, you are a real Science Bowl person, studying science all the time. I know you really do love it. And you're a nice player. We like having you here. And Jemiah, nice to have you here too. And she's the only one not wearing blue today because she is a safety patrol. She's got the sash on there. Where do you patrol? Where's your station?
I patrol in the hallways.
Yeah. Do people listen to you? Do the kids listen to you?
Yes.
Yes, because you have that air of authority about you. I would listen to you. You know, you look very official to me. What do you want to do someday?
I want to be a doctor or a politician.
Yeah, you talked about politician. What got you interested in politics?
I like how you get to make different decisions.
Yeah, that affect the lives of so many people, so you got to be careful what you do. And maybe a doctor, huh?
Yes.
I can see you do that. Yeah, but being a safety patrol helps with that because you're learning how to interact with people and recognizing maybe people that need some help, right?
Yes.
Yeah, it's nice to have you with us. Let's go over to Perrywood. And Joshua, how'd they make you captain?
Well, we have this, like we watch Science Bowl videos, and every once in a while, between each question, Miss Henson pauses it and lets us answer the questions, and whoever gets it right gets a point. And I have the most points, so.
Hey, it's a meritocracy. You earned it. You earned this place, right? And you're doing such a good job here today. Yes. And I like your earnestness. You're really into it today. And I like your teammates are helping you out. And you're smiling over there. I was worried about some of you looking so sad over there. I want to make sure you have a good time. Perrywood. Where is Perrywood in Prince George's County?
Upper Marlboro.
Upper Marlboro, that's right. And who's your principal?
Miss Poole.
Miss Poole. And Miss Henson, you mentioned her. She's a great captain. She's a great sponsor. Yes. She's done so much for us over the years. And Angela, thank you for all you do. And tell me about Perrywood. Best thing there, Josh.
Well, we have attendance dances, and we have this program called National Elementary Honor Society.
And that's great because that lets you always aspire to something. There's a goal there. There's a motivation to be the best. Were you going to tell me something else?
We also have curriculum.
That's a tough word, isn't it? Yeah, something outside the classroom, clubs and sports and all, and that's real important as well. You did a nice job. What do you want to do professionally someday, Josh?
Well, first I want to try and get into Harvard.
Wow, I'm impressed.
I want to go into the stocks.
Yeah, Wall Street, huh? Mm-hmm. Yeah, be a financier, make lots of money. Yeah. Remember your friends, Josh, when you get there, become famous, all right? Kindness, how you doing today?
Good.
Good. Tell me about yourself. What do you do in your spare time?
Well, most of the time, don't judge me about this, but I like to watch TV.
Hey, you're talking to somebody who is on TV. I love what you're saying. Do you have a favorite TV show other than Science Bowl?
Okay. I like to watch, well, some people say this is a kid show, but it's actually a kid-appropriate show. I like to watch SpongeBob.
Hey, you're preaching to the converted, man. I love SpongeBob and Squidward and all the characters. Mrs. Puff is my favorite in her show, or her driving school. Tell me what you want to do someday.
Well, someday, I want to be a video game designer.
Yeah, you seem to have that sense of creativity about you. I can see you doing that, Kindness. You're a good player here. And Olu Akemi, good to have you here today. And your mother has a PhD in nursing, and you'd like to follow in her footsteps and become a pediatrician, yeah?
Yes.
I think that's just wonderful. And you've been smiling the whole time. I hope you're having a good time because we like having you here. Tell me what you do in your spare time.
Well, I like to cook, play, and watch TV.
Yeah, and she makes a mean macaroni and cheese dish. Did you bring any today?
Nope.
I could have given you extra 50 points. All right, let's get back to the game. Perrywood 95, Forest Heights 65. Lots of points available yet. So let's go back to Perrywood. Josh, you gave us the last correct answer. Where do we go?
For 25.
Okay, Dateline Science for 25 points.
Ooh, that's a tough one. Dateline Science for 25 points. Teams, because the Zika virus is much in the news. It's causing babies to be born with very small heads. An organization called the CDC in Atlanta is now monitoring it here in the United States. I will give you 25 points if you can tell me what the CDC stands for. Tough question. You sure can. You have to ring in first. No, that's all right. Give it a try.
County.
That's really hard. It's really hard.
Department.
Oh.
I'll just, you wanted to answer that. Can I pass it to Kindness?
Kindness, what do you think?
County Department of
Searching for a C. You're not headed in the right direction, but I appreciate your effort. Any idea, Jabari, what the CDC is? It's mentioned a lot on the news. You know, when Ebola was a problem here, it stands for the Centers for Disease Control. Centers for Disease Control. And the Zika virus, that is why it is under that jurisdiction. Try again, green. Let's try for something maybe a little less value, whatever you want.
No, let's go for 5. Let's get physical.
Come on, Josh.
Let's get physical for 5.
Get physical for 5 points. Teams, if somebody tells you something and you don't really believe it, it is said that you should take that with a grain of sodium chloride. Sodium chloride is a fancy way of saying what substance, Josh?
Salt.
Yeah, take it with a grain of salt. That means don't take it all that seriously. Good. Green.
Let's get physical for 20.
Let's get physical for 20 points. Teams, Mars is like Earth, but it's different because a day on Mars, instead of being 24 hours, is 24 hours, 37 minutes, and 22 seconds, meaning it takes Mars longer to do what than it does Earth. Jabari?
Orbit.
Not orbit. Good try. Perrywood?
Rotate on its axis.
That's what I want to hear. It takes it longer to rotate on its axis by 37 minutes and 22 seconds. Yes, indeed, young man. Go.
Okay. Science potpourri for 5. No, 15. Science potpourri for 15.
Science potpourri for 15 points. Teams, when an animal dies at the National Zoo, which is always awful, the veterinarians will perform a necropsy to find out how it died. A necropsy is the equivalent to what human postmortem when they try to decide how a human being passed away. Forest Heights.
Autopsy.
Say it again.
Autopsy.
Yes, autopsy, absolutely right. Good. All right. Go. Red, good answer.
Green things for 15.
Green things, 15 points. Teams, listen carefully. There's a key word in here. This plant is so named because the groups of leaves on it are called arachnoid clusters, which means it is what kind of plant? It is named for one of these.
A spider?
Yeah, it's the spider plant. Arachnoid was the clue. Kindness got it. Yes, indeed. Good. Okay, green again.
Dateline Science for 5.
Okay.
Dateline Science for 5.
Dateline Science for 5 points. Teams, astronomers among themselves are calling this fatty. It is a new planet that may be the 9th planet that takes the place of what former 9th planet?
Pluto.
That's it. Everybody should know that. Green. Good. Go. Come on, Jabari. You got to jump faster. And Jemiah and Tamaya, you got to get him to push that buzzer. Don't be sitting like this.
Science potpourri.
Lean in.
Science potpourri for 5.
Science potpourri for 5 points. Teams, the question is as follows. When you go to sleep at night, you're never alone. There are thousands of little dust mites all over your sheets, 8-legged things that are crawling all over you. They don't bite, thank goodness. To keep them away, you should lower the water content of the air in your room, otherwise known as relative what? Jabari?
Evaporation.
Not evaporation. Yes, Joshua?
Humidity.
Yeah, relative humidity. Reduce the humidity and the dust mite population drops as well. Good. Green.
Science potpourri for 10. Yeah. Science potpourri for 10.
Science potpourri for 10 points. Teams, if you read Marvel Comics, you'll know that adamantium is a fictitious metal alloy that makes the claws and the skeleton of this man invulnerable. Jari.
Wolverine.
The Wolverine. That's it. Good. Red.
Body systems for 10.
Body systems for 10 points. Teams, if you are real close, if Jemiah and Tamaya are closest of friends, they do everything together, they could be said to be joined at this bone, otherwise known as the pelvis. They are joined at the what, Perrywood? What you got? Give me something. Forest Heights. You're the joint at the hip. Absolutely right. Good answer. Nice comeback. You're at the century mark. 100. Jabari finally smiling. He's loosening up. All right. He says, we're going to do this. Go.
Body systems for 10.
Body systems for 10 points. That was body systems for 10. Yes, judges? Yes. Okay. That one is gone. The 5 and the 10 are gone in body systems. That should be the case. Pick again, please.
Zoo parade for 15.
Zoo parade for 15 points is a visual question. Everybody look at the monitor in the studio. This African antelope is known as a kudu. And like all antelopes, it does not have antlers. It has these. Jabari?
Horns.
Yeah, horns. Some people don't know that. Horns can't be shed, but antlers can. Red.
Dateline science for 15.
Dateline for 15 points. Teams, the people in the Pacific Northwest are afraid that the same thing will happen to them as happened in Japan in 2011. Jabari?
Tsunami.
Yeah, tsunami, yeah. Following an earthquake that registered a 9 on the Richter scale. 130 to 145. We got a game going here. Go, Jabari.
Zoo parade for 20.
Zoo parade for 20 points. Teams, back in the 1930s, when medicine wasn't all that good and people were afraid to go to the hospital because they felt they were being experimented on, the best-selling book back then, when there were 100 million Americans, was 100 million of these. Joshua? What do you want to tell me?
Antibacterial.
No, good try. Forrest Heights, you got a chance to go in the lead here. The title of the best-selling book in 1933, because people in America thought they were being experimented on because medicine wasn't so good, was 100 million of these rodents that oftentimes are used in the laboratory to experiment on.
Rats.
What?
Rats.
No, good try. 100 million guinea pigs. Guinea pigs was the right answer. Go, Red.
Green things for 20.
Green things for 20 points. Teams, nutritionists say in order to have regular bowel movements and to feel good, eat plenty of this F. Joshua? What do you want to tell me?
Fruits.
Not fruits. Good try. Forrest Heights, nutritionists say to stay regular, eat a lot of these F-initial kinds of insoluble carbohydrates that are found in things like beans and nuts and peas.
Fibers.
Yeah, fiber is what I want to hear. Good, come back, go.
Body systems for 20.
Body systems for 20 points. Team score 150 Forrest Heights, 145 Perrywood, 20 points in body systems. Teams, in the recent movie The Revenant, there was a man playing a trapper out in the wilderness. It was snowing, it was cold, he fell into a cold river. By all rights, he should have died of this condition when your body temperature, Forrest Heights.
High.
Help him.
Hypothermia.
That's what I want to hear. Thanks to Maya. Good. Red.
Science potpourri for 20.
Potpourri for 20 points. Teams, your question is as follows. Pregnant women are told to avoid eating too many potatoes because they can get something called a gestational version of this disease, which is characterized by too much sugar in their blood.
Diabetes.
Forrest Heights.
Diabetes.
Yeah, gestational diabetes is correct. Yes, sir. Good. Go.
Green things for 5.
Green things for 5 points. Astronaut Mark Kelly on the International Space Station just tweeted, sent a picture of a zinnia. He said, look at this. This is the first of these ever grown in space. A zinnia is a kind of what?
Plant.
More specifically. Which guy?
Tree.
Nope. Forrest Heights. Picture of a zinnia. Mark Kelly astronaut says, first one of these ever grown in space.
Vegetable.
Flower. The first flower. Go red.
Dateline science for 20.
Dateline science for 20 points. Teams, listen. The Higgs boson, the so-called God particle that was recently discovered, won for its discoverers a Nobel Prize in what field? Perrywood.
What do you think?
What field?
Physics.
Yes, good. Green. Ooh, the buzzer has rung and it looks like it's close, but I think Forrest Heights has edged it out. We'll be back in a moment. Don't you go away.
If you're like most families, you probably have video game fans in your home. But not every game is right for every kid, which is where the ESRB ratings come in. They help parents make informed decisions for their kids. And there's an easy-to-use mobile app that gives you detailed info on specific game ratings. Video game consoles have parental controls that you can set to block certain games by age rating, so they get all the fun, and you get peace of mind.
I tell people I have 3 kids, one of them's adopted, I just don't know which one.
I can't imagine having to be in a birth mother's position to make that choice.
You know, I was kind of just asking her, you know, what is your motivation? Why are you doing this? And she looked at me and she said, because you can give my son a life that I could not.
We always tell her thank you. He is such a blessing to us.
Every day is just a ray of sunshine from him. So we're Chanda and Brian, and we chose adoption.
Welcome back. What a game today. That lead kept going back and forth, and when it looked like all was lost for Forrest Heights, they found their voice. Did they ever? Our final tally today is Perrywood 165, Forrest Heights 190. Jabari, congratulations, and Jemiah and Tamaya, you did a super job there in the second half. You see some smiles, maybe, over there. Here are the alternates. Raise your hands. Over there at Forrest Heights, Levante and Xavier. Dr. Brookover, their principal. Ms. Stephanie Hinton-Jackson, thank you all for a wonderful job. We will see you against Robert Goddard. Kindness, no more tears over there. I know you did that because you care so much. You did a super job. You and Josh and Oluwakemi, you did I want to see you back here again playing this game. And we got the shadow team back there. Kayvon and Caleb and Amari and Ms. Henson, thank you for all you do and for sending us great students all the time. And we thank you for being part of Science Bowl today, and we hope to see you next time. Bye-bye.